So how you feeling, Dan? You better?
Doing pretty. Yeah, I'm doing better. I was pretty sick last week.
Did you get the
Just a
6-day
flu.
flu like I got?
Yeah, just general shittiness. Feeling sick. Feeling.
A lot of that
Yeah.
going around
So
right now.
Yeah, and I made it down here to Florida, sunny Florida. So
The wonders of airline travel.
yeah.
And how many people did you taint while you were on the airplane?
Oh, I'm sure quite a bit. But it wasn't
man,
me. I
good
wasn't
man.
actually haven't been flying. I've been. But my coworkers though, I blame them for my disease. But anyway, I'm better now.
Cool.
I've been playing video games.
I almost bought a blue microphone Nessie at the at Best Buy today.
Oh, yeah?
Then I remembered
Yeah.
my snowball works just as well, so I saved $100. But
Pardon me.
it has a mute button on the stand,
Oh, nice.
so you can instead of having to reach over to Skype to mute, you just hit the button on the stand.
I have a headset button that I can push like so.
Brian,
He's
Brian,
gone.
you still there?
He's
Wow,
gone.
magic!
See?
Let's talk
You
about
couldn't hear anything I just
Oh.
said.
God damn.
Oh wait. we could have talked about you, but you would have heard it.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
wouldn't have been. Yeah, that doesn't.
It gives me all the power.
Yeah, so I've been playing South Park.
Nice.
South Park Stick of Truth.
Did we start the show yet?
Yeah, it's starting.
Show's starting?
I'm very
Oh, God, the
it's
show is
starting. It's starting.
I'm not
That's
wor-
what we're talking about.
All right.
But South Park.
Yeah, how's that?
It's
It's a game.
It's a game. It's fun.
What do you do?
So let me just start from me. So what happened is I was watching these free to play, not free to play. What are they called? The Twitch feeds and stuff. And so I was like, I don't want to watch someone play this because some of the jokes in here I want to experience it for myself. So I dropped the money on it. It was $60 on Steam, quite a lot of money.
Damn.
And because it really helped me, I think it helped me get through my illness too.
Nice.
You feel like you're part of the show.
Comic
and that's
relief.
a common, yeah, and that I think really helped me. So the setup of the game is you play as a new kid with a mysterious past, and then you venture out into the neighborhood and you run into Butters, who brings you to Cartman, who's running a LARP, like a live action role playing game. of Dungeons and Dragons. Well, pretty much every single fantasy mashup they can find. So there's Skyrim references, Final Fantasy references.
Right.
Awesome.
Like you're the Dragonborn because you fart, and can control your farts and
Foos rope.
the action is actually very Final Fantasy-esque too. So you have 4 classes to choose from: fighter, mage, thief, and Jew.
Of course.
What, pray tell, does the Jew class do?
It's a monk class, like a paladin class.
Okay.
So you have a balance of like healing, and then you have jujitsu. So
Of course.
Jew,
Uh,
oh boy.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. So I picked the thief. I did have to go with the Jew for part of the comic effect. Especially when you run into Jesus, it gets a little uncomfortable. But yeah, they're all the same. Actually, it doesn't matter what class you pick; they all have the same. In terms of power, they were really well balanced in that way.
Mhm.
And so you use you use toys and stuff to do weapons. It kind of reminds me of Fun with Weapons episode.
Right.
So a good time with weapons, I should say. So
Is that the one where
Um,
where Butters gets a ninja star to the eye?
yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Awesome.
So I don't want to spoil it. It's still relatively new.
Fucking spoil it.
The combat, it's like Final Fantasy. You have a set amount of power points to spend to use your magic power or PP.
Mm-hmm.
They make the obvious joke there.
Yeah.
So you you can get that back though by later in the game. You can actually add strap-ons to your weapons.
Of course, strap-ons.
And that will actually build that back up. Like if you do certain things like block in time or counterattack. So I mean, it's actually kind of twitchy, which is cool. It's not just your standard turn-based game. There's actually a bit of action involved there,
Right.
which I appreciated. You can also call on your buddies, so like Butters, Cartman, Princess Kenny. These are all playable characters that can join your team, and they add certain. I don't want to. Well, Princess Kenny can flash her boobs and stun.
Wait, Kenny's a girl?
No,
I haven't been keeping up with my
no.
South Park, but is that actually a thing? I mean,
I believe there was something about that in an episode once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. It's a
Where
thing he's
Kenny
going through.
got like a boob transplant or something. Whatever. Anyway,
All right.
carry on.
They're not actually, but it's pretty hilarious. And you actually have to call on those buddies to get through certain quick time events and puzzles in the game.
Huh.
So I actually haven't gone through the whole puzzle. I stuck to the core tail pretty closely, and I beat it in about 3 days. So it didn't take too long.
That's not bad.
Yeah, like there are moments when I was like literally howling.
Right.
Like they're.
Because
I
of the
don't-
crude, tasteless humor.
They just go so far. And typical gross out South Park fashion. So
Yeah, of course.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. Probably not $60 fun. I wouldn't recommend dropping the full price.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm always kind of leery about paying full retail for games. As sad as it is, I prefer to get my games on, pretty steep discounts.
Yeah.
yeah.
75%
recommend
is about my breakpoint.
Almost free. Sweet, I'm on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff I really want to get, I'll buy it at 50. But stuff that I'm kind of on the fence about, I'll usually wait until 75 to 80% off.
Well, just like, Payday 2 is half off right now? I believe
It
so.
was free on the weekend.
Yeah, well, no, free to play. So.
Yeah, they had a free
free play.
weekend. And
BioShock Infinite, if you don't already own it, you can get it for $7.49.
That's a good
It
deal.
is.
This is a good.
I paid a bit more
last
for
year.
it, but you know what? I'm totally fine with that.
I paid full price for that game.
Again, still, even at full price, I wouldn't feel ripped off.
I enjoyed it. I will never play it again, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that actually brings up a future topic I'd like to cover. But anyway.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all I've been playing.
Wow.
I played a little bit more Project 1999. I think I talked about that in the show.
Mhm.
I have no idea what that even is.
So that's an EverQuest remake.
That was the one I think that
That
Nelson
is-
wasn't here for.
Already bored.
Okay.
Already bored. Sorry.
Hear me out. Hear me out. It's set in 1999, so the way it was back then. So before all the, planes of power bullshit and all the balancing that they did, monks are powerful again. So like,
Well, the question is, can you train mobs
yeah, absolutely.
across zones? Like, large groups of mobs across zones?
Oh fuck
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it was back in '99. So yeah, there'd be a lot of that.
Yeah,
Well-
that's how you get clear a camp that you want.
Cool.
No, don't do that.
Don't.
It's still extremely. It is not modern. It takes forever to level up. Forever. It's still really tough. But you know what? I do like the fact that everybody is in there for the same reasons. They want a little bit of that challenge. They want to. They're all pretty cool people. Like there's you don't get the elite kiddies in there. that
Maybe
game
it
at
was
all.
maybe the audience is like former EQ players. I don't know.
Yeah, EverQuest always had
Yeah.
a better community than most of the MMOs that came after it, anyways. So
Yeah.
I see.
it did.
Yeah.
It really did. There was a lot more in my time in MMOs. The most helpful people I ever ran across were in EverQuest for sure.
Nice.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, you had to have a good community, otherwise you wouldn't be invited to go to groups. I mean,
Yeah.
there was no spawned dungeons. There's back then. The only
No
way to get into
instances,
dungeons, you had to make friends with people. So
Ew.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I know.
And there were no character transfers or character renames or anything like that. So if you fucked up and did something to ruin your reputation, well, congratulations, your character's now broken.
You were screwed.
Now you have to buy a new copy of the game.
Well, I mean,
you could roll a new character.
You could roll a new character, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're dead to me now.
there were people who put in like full on detective work to track down people who would do things like that. Who would ninja loot and then roll a new character or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
they would actually try and figure out who these people were and stuff like that. So
Wow.
a lot of internet matlocking went on those EverQuest shit list boards.
Nerds.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. But yeah, some fond memories. That's for sure.
There is a new project. I'm just trying to get the name of it.
EverQuest Next.
Yeah, but this is Brad McQuaid. Sort of, he went on to do his own thing.
That's such an original name.
Brad.
Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen. So the same style, same tough challenge. There's no maps. There's no, here is all your equipment and loot and money to start. You're just on your own. It looks really interesting. It was. It didn't reach the Kickstarter. It was on Kickstarter. It failed to meet its goal.
Right.
It was wanted to raise $800,000, but
I guess people are starting to become a little bit more wary about crowdfunding.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know I am.
Yes.
But they're continuing the development despite the fact they fell short, right?
Yeah, so if you go on their website, Rise of the Fallen, you can actually pledge directly to them, and you get access, early alpha access, beta access, and you can name, like a town or something if you pay a certain amount. I guess.
Hey, look, it's Nelson Town. Woo.
There you go.
I call this place Bumhumpville.
Yeah. Well, it has to pass. I think they're.
Hey! There was no language about provisos to that in my agreement. You have to name it what I said.
Yeah.
What's Brian's favorite character name again? Dick something. Dick Smack. Dick Smack.
Dick Smack.
The town of Dick Smack.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. I'm wildly inappropriate at all times. You're right.
So that's. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really found any interest in MMOs whatsoever. I guess.
Wait, don't you play World of Warcraft though?
I do.
Yeah, so.
I do. Like seasonally.
Ah.
You have interest in all the MMOs, Dan. I mean, you should qualify that. You don't have any interest in MMOs. You have interest in every single one that ever comes out.
All of them. Yes. Oh no, and that's a given.
You don't love any of your children any more than any of the other children, but
yes.
But you do have them all.
All equally. Every single
collect
one.
them like Pokemon.
Gotta have them all.
I have account reminders all the time.
Did you play Horizons?
right now-
You played Horizons, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't play Dragon though.
Right. You played Rift?
I did play Rift.
Okay. Let's see. You played Shadow. What was it? Shadowland?
Shadowbane. So did you.
Yeah, I know.
You did too.
Very
briefly.
Very, very, very briefly.
Extremely briefly.
Oh dear. Final Fantasy.
Shadowbane was great.
You've done the Final Fantasy MMOs, I'm assuming.
I didn't do the first one. I didn't do 11. I did 14.
Okay. You played Eve? You played some Eve. I know that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm trying to think.
There was this one MMO with robots. You played like a little robot, and you could upgrade your robot. I forget the name of it now.
You didn't
Whatever
play
it is,
that.
it sounds cool.
You beat up other robots. You can take their parts and
Okay.
attach it to yourself. It was actually kind of neat, but yeah.
I'm just trying to think of an MMO that you haven't played. I'm trying to come up with the one. Can you think of anything?
I can't think of
Phantasy
anything.
Star Online. Did you play that?
No,
There
no, and there's another one too. Another
There's the outlier.
South Korea
Oh, Lineage.
Lineage. Never played any of those.
Right, Lineage was terrible.
Yeah.
I played a
Just
little bit of
awful.
the beta of that one. It was awful.
Yeah. Ugh. Anarchy Online. Played that one.
Oh God. God, AO. Jesus, I forgot about
Yeah.
that one. Anyway, enough MMO reminiscence.
Okay.
Okay, so we're talking about what we played, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to go next, Nelson, or?
Okay,
fine.
I could have.
Oh, that's cool. What have I been playing?
What
Well,
have you been playing, Nelson?
let me start out with Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider's that game that I owned for quite a while and never even gave the time of day because I'm like, I'll get to it when I get to it. And holy fuck, that was a mistake. I should have played that game sooner because my God, it was good. It was really good.
It's a really
With the
good
exception of the really irritating combat, but aside from that, the story, the soundtrack, the platforming, the tension that they can build in that game, like there are a lot of times where, jump scares, feeling genuinely uneasy. That fucking game, man. Wow.
game.
I want a sequel, like now.
Yeah.
It was
a really
good.
Yeah, it was a really good,
game.
reimagining of that entire series, and I played through it from start to finish, and I had a great time with it too.
Legitimately, if I had paid full retail for that, I wouldn't have even batted an eye. Like it was just that good.
Yeah,
Like even the folks at Ubisoft, as far as making Assassin's Creed and the whole platforming aspect of it, they could learn a thing or two from Tomb Raider.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, there's just so much good things I could say about that game. And a few bad things, but
Yeah. I thought there could be more actual rating of tombs.
there was actually a surprising amount of it.
That was my favorite
During
part.
my gameplay, I think I cleared 6 tombs. Mm-hmm. I just like how it gives you that little notifier that hey, there's a tomb nearby. You should probably keep your eyes open. And if you're if you got a keen eye, you can spot the entrance and start raiding some tombs. And some of those tomb puzzles were pretty fucking challenging. Some were downright irritating, but that's fine. So
So
Tomb
Nelson,
Raider.
did you finish it yet, or?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I
What did
finished
you
it
think?
up, early or last weekend actually.
Oh, okay.
I was even talking to you about it at work.
But I thought you hadn't gotten to the. Oh yeah, you're right. You did talk about the ending with me. That's right.
Sure did.
Yeah, the nonstop zombie samurai buffet at the end of the game there.
Fucking. See, that's one of the things that pissed me off about that game was as soon as you got into close quarter combats, you were basically completely useless.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you had some dodge kills or whatever, but unless you timed it just right, yeah. And unless you timed it just right, you were fucked. So yeah, I would have liked a little bit more close quarter combat survivability because I met some pretty gruesome deaths that way.
Mm-hmm.
You could actually probably do a build that helps you with that. I didn't really get too much into the actual.
I tried. Like that's one of my main focuses on was combat specifically with melee in mind, and it was effectively useless. Like most of it was put all the points in your guns and upgrade your guns because it's gun game. But
yeah.
It's fine. I also played a bit of Monaco. Again, that game I want to be able to play with like people I know. Because right now I'm doing it in offline mode, and it's fun, but I can imagine it being better with people you know. I don't want to do the whole online multiplayer with strangers, just because I can see a whole lot of trolling going on, or potential trolling going on, or because I don't have a firm handle on being good at that game yet. I have a feeling I could be detrimental to the mission, and basically straight up liability. So I think just playing with some friends, just get familiar with it a little bit more, and at that point then I can really sink my teeth into it. But just bought a new game today that I put a little bit of playtime into. Luftrausers.
Oh yeah, I've seen some things on that. It looks pretty cool.
It's really fucking hard.
Yeah.
Looks good.
It's like a roguelike flights or a roguelike dogfight sim kind of gamey thing where the expectation of you dying is pretty much gonna be the core of the gameplay almost. It's fly your missions, kill as much as you can before you die, upgrade, and they have a lot of different combinations for like armor type versus weapon type versus propulsion type, blah, blah, blah. Each have pluses, but also severe minuses as well. The control scheme right out of the box was a little bit weird to get used to, but as you start to get a little bit more, basically when you put a little bit more time into the game, the controls slowly start to make sense. You still never really get a mastery of them. Granted, I've only played this like less than an hour, but so this is what I've gotten from it so far. And yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's sepia tone, very retro style, 8-bit, whatever. The soundtrack is a lot of fun. My only gripe really is the music in game versus the music in the menu system. There's a huge gap between the volume. So in the game, the volume's tolerable, and then once you get back into the menu systems after you die, it's like they suddenly turned it up to 11, and you're just like, oh god damn it! It really makes you want to play the next round immediately, so you don't have to suffer through that shit. So, whoever devved that one or QA'd that one just needs a slap, because if you're gonna have difference in volume between gameplay and menus, no, don't do that. That's not good.
That's a Vlambeer game, right?
Yep, sure is.
The guys who did Ridiculous Fishing and Nuclear Throne.
And what was the other one? Yeah, but Vlambeer developed digital. Super Crate Box or Super Crate
Super Crate Box, yeah.
Yeah. So
it's getting really good reviews.
Fun. I mean, it was like $8 or $9. Totally, it's a pick up and play. You can just jump into a game or two and just put it back down again, which is one of the game styles I like, because I'm either into the deep story stuff or just the quick instant gratification shit. So this falls under the instant gratification section or
nice.
Cool
area. So other than that, a little bit of Antichamber. Fuck that game. Seriously, it's like they should just call it "You're Doing It Wrong" in the game. God damn it!
Yeah, that game makes me feel really stupid.
Yes. Did you hear there's a Spelunky mod
for
Spelunky?
What?
Spelunky.
Okay.
I was playing some Spelunky, and then I found out that there's a mod for the game, which makes the entire game look like Metroid.
Yes. I actually saw a post about that today. It looks pretty cool.
Spelunktroid.
Yeah.
Or Metrounky. No, whatever.
Yeah. There's also a mod out for Spelunky called Frozelunky or something like that.
Oh, God.
It just makes the game completely insane. Like, absolutely bonkers.
More so than it already is. Goody.
Yeah. Believe me, this Frozelunky thing I've seen a couple of videos of it. It's just nuts. I've never seen anybody get out of the mines.
Yeah.
Do you guys like that game?
Yeah.
Like, you guys talk about it like you're working out. Going to the gym.
It's a real struggle, that game.
It's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge, yeah.
It's that game you play when you really just want to punish yourself for no reason whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay, so Frozelunky is a difficulty mod.
Is a make an
generator.
already fucking annoyingly hard game even more harder.
Yeah.
Wow.
More harder, gooder. The mod.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It just basically turns everything up to 11 in the game. Like there's just things flying everywhere. It's crazy. But yeah, if regular Spelunky is just not hard enough for you, then you can do that.
If you don't already hate yourself enough, get this mod.
Yeah.
Oh, and I got a late birthday present from my older sister. Holding it in my hand right now. The official limited edition strategy guide with exclusive lithographs for Batman Arkham Origins.
Very cool.
No, I don't own the game.
Timely gift.
Yeah. Basically, my older sister has no idea.
But God bless her, she tried.
Well, you know what? Yeah, she gets some bonus points for trying, but I almost feel compelled to actually go out and buy the game now, just
So you can justify
to actually get use out of it. Because, I mean, otherwise I'm going to have to go back to chapters and return it and get credit and then look for something else. And you know what? That involves going out in public. And we all know I'm not a huge fan of that. But
when I was a kid, I would buy Nintendo Power magazines, even though I didn't have a Nintendo system.
What?
And just to try to convince my dad to buy me one for
I
Christmas.
love Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
But the lithographs that are included in this are, you know what, almost worthy of hanging up. So, I don't know, I might hang on to it.
Cool.
Speaking of
sorry to derail your Nintendo Powerness.
No, it's cool.
I'm a Nintendo Power. I love that shit when I was a kid.
we should talk about Arkham Knights when the news thing comes up in a little bit.
Yeah. So what have you been playing, Brian?
What have I been playing? Still working my way through Far Cry 3. Finished off the first island. Did not expect a gigantic monster boss fight at the end of that. That was a little weird. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It was weird. It was a drug trip, but it was still like you with a bow against this like 200-foot tall monster voodoo demon guy. It was pretty crazy.
I'm tripping balls, man.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of heading into I just did the mission where you go to kill Voss, who's the guy in the commercials, the definition of insanity
really
guy.
Psychotic motherfucker, yeah.
Yeah, he's a bad person. He's a bad person.
Yes.
I was on the mission to do that, and I got killed and, shut it off enough last night. So.
Fuck this game. Just turned it off in disgust, right?
Yeah. And so to assuage my frustrations with that, I decided to play Demon Souls.
Oh.
And that went.
How was that helping?
As we predicted.
Man.
Yeah. I've decided at this point that I'm going to wait for the PC version of Dark Souls 2. Decided to kind of hold on and not dive in at the, on the PlayStation. So, I'll wait for a bit of a discount on. Sorry, I'm here.
All right, so
I'm punching you in the dick tomorrow.
The best thing to do with Demon Souls,
I'll wear my
best thing to do with Dark Souls 2 is wait for it to go on the computer, because they're going to add way more.
Yeah,
it's just going to look better.
Mod support, better graphics.
Does anybody even
a cheaper
mod that
price
game?
point if you wait. Oh yeah, people. The first one, DS Fix, one of the most well recognized mods for it was entirely fan made. But yeah, gonna wait for Dark Souls 2 on the PC. So
yeah,
and I still cannot get Dark Souls 1 running on my computer. It just refuses to run. I've tried every fix on PC Gaming Wiki.
Windows 8,
and it's on Windows 8, and it doesn't.
Did you punch it in the throat? That one.
I don't punch software. It's kind of
the old
thing. It doesn't really have a
throat punch.
Can you do like a dual boot in Windows 7? Can you find an ISO?
I probably have to. Yeah, I guess I could do that. Ugh.
Remember, we used to have to do that with Windows XP to play older games.
You know what? That just sounds like way too much effort to play one fucking game.
Especially since I've already got it on the PS3, and if I really wanted to play it, I could just play it there.
Yeah, so
Anyway. But anyways, yeah, I was kind of feeling an itch to play a Souls game. So, and I've actually played a fair amount of Dark Souls. I really haven't played much Demon Souls, and I haven't spent a lot of time with that game. I don't really know that much about it. I haven't read wikis or watched walkthroughs or anything like that. So
that's the best way to get into that game, I heard.
Yeah. So I just kind of immersed myself in it, and that game. It's a 5-year-old game, but man, it still holds up. It's, everything in it is really well crafted, and you can kind of see how it grew into Dark Souls. A lot of the mechanics are the same. Some of the lore elements are the same, and the bosses in that game are just incredible. And it seems like there's enough in the way of Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 out there that only the people who are actually interested in playing the game and being cool about playing the game are still there. Like that's
cool.
There's still messages all over the ground. Like I was amazed by this. I thought I remembered that they had shut down the Dark Souls servers, but I guess they're still running. Or Demon Souls servers. I thought they were going to shut them all down, but they're still running, and there's still people putting messages up, and there's still still people to do co-op with. And I charged my way through the first 2 bosses without actually dying once, and then started on Stonefang Caverns, and it's been a little rockier once I got there. I've had some falling problems. Fell off a couple of cliffs and fell to my death. But yeah, but I remember like the early impressions that I had of that game were that it was just so balls out hard because I had never played anything like it before that. And it's kind of weird going back to it because it's actually a lot more forgiving than Dark Souls. And you have this impression that this game is just balls to the wall, gonna step on your dreams kind of hard. And you go back and play it, and it's like, yeah, this actually isn't so bad. This
yeah,
I can
know
deal with
what
this.
to expect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can people raid your game in Demon Souls?
If you're human, yeah.
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 Okay, I wasn't sure about that.
It's got the same kind of arrangement as Dark Souls. If you're if you're in your human form, and running around, people can invade your game. And it's the same kind of thing as Dark Souls. They'll pop up at kind of a random place somewhere in the level, and none of the monsters will notice them, and they'll start trying to hunt you down, basically. So
I can just see now. Hey, how's it going? Come here a sec. I want to talk to you.
yeah,
I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to kill you. I just want to talk to you. Just want to bash your fucking brains in. I mean, I'm not. Hey.
Did I say that last part out loud? Sorry.
I'd be worried about the trolling. That's the only.
Yeah. Well, it's
Kind of like Rust. Have you seen my
Yeah.
rock? Let me smash you with it.
But yeah, it's hello.
Hello.
Okay, sorry. I had another one of those beeps that made me think we were disconnected again.
Might be called waiting on your headset. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be.
I saw you playing
anyways,
some FTL.
FTL. When was that? Did I play FTL? When
You
did
were
I play
playing FTL?
When?
Earlier last week.
Oh yeah. I did play some FTL. Yeah,
And that other game, that
The other game.
exclusive free to play game.
Oh, Hawken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing a bit of Hawken too. Hawken's all right. It's it's free to play, so graphically it's very impressive. It's got some interesting mechanics. Small mech type game. I was playing co-op against bots, and still earning the XP and the credits you use to buy stuff and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. It doesn't seem to be a tremendous amount of depth to it, but
It's a shooter.
what depth it has is kind of in the mech customization options and stuff like that. So, but I haven't spent much time with that one, only an hour or so. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much
More
what
time than I
played.
ever spent with it. Right now, it's in my installed games list, but my totally not played yet game list.
Right.
Yep.
Very cool. Well, should we talk about news?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Let's do this.
News. News music. So, DirectX 12 is on the way, but Windows 7 will not support it.
Yep.
Sorry,
Yeah.
feigning ignorance here. DirectX 12. The fuck is that? I know what DirectX
12
is. It's a thing you need to play games, but
Yeah, that's pretty much it in layman's terms. It's just a way of developers writing code directly to the hardware without having to go through the usual walled garden that is Windows. So it's a set of tools that game developers can use to access hardware using the Windows 7 or the Windows environment. So anyway, it really is not. I mean, look how long it took DirectX 11 to get support. Really, it was released in 2007, 2008.
oh wow.
Yeah, late 2008, and it didn't actually get support until like recently. So honestly, I think that this is people are kind of making a lot of stink about this, and I don't think they're going to need to, because Windows 7 is pretty much on its way out, right? Like,
eventually.
Then again, yeah, you're having problems with Windows 8.
I'm not a big fan.
Games run.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we all.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's news that has absolutely no effect on anything that I know of anything about. So
Well,
I'm sure it's important
you know.
for some reason, but
Well,
Shrug.
provides a lower level of hardware abstraction, allowing games to significantly improve multi-thread scaling and CPU utilization. Games will benefit from reduced GPU overhead by features such as descriptor tables and concise pipeline state objects.
more words, bigger, even still.
Direct3D 12 also introduces a new rendering pipeline features that will dramatically improve the efficiency of algorithms such as order-dependent transparency, collision detection, and geometry culling.
Business
Makes
business
games shinier.
buzzwords. Okay.
Yeah.
You like games that look really good. You like modern games that look really good. I mean, they need better tools. That's what DirectX 12 does.
Cool.
Yeah.
But the fact what it's saying is you're not going to be able to use Windows 7 for modern games.
Right.
That's what they're saying here.
But this isn't going to require new hardware, right? Like they're saying that DirectX 12 will work on sort of the current upper generation of video cards.
I don't know. I can't confirm. I know that the Nvidia and ATI have both said they're going to release new cards that are DirectX 12 related. So
Okay.
All I hear is Windows 7 users who like to play video games, fuck you, get Windows 8.
Well, I mean, DirectX 11 isn't going anywhere. So, you know, there was an overlap between DX10 and DX11 for a lot of years there, where if you wanted to get the most out of the game, you played it on a DX11 card. If not, you played it on DX10, but you could play it either way. I think this is probably going to be the same type of split, but only instead of the graphics hardware being the dividing line, it's going to be the operating system.
Huh. Okay.
So, yeah, I was just looking at the FAQ here, and they say, should I wait to buy a new PC or GPU? And it says no. If you buy a PC with the supported graphics hardware, over 80% of game PCs currently being sold, you'll be able to enjoy the power of DirectX 12 games as soon as they're available.
okay, well there you go.
Yeah. That's in the official FAQ.
Okay, cool. And I just imagine it's for the next gen consoles too. You look at current games being released for next gen consoles; they look the same as. You know, there's really not much of a difference in terms of quality, but I think that once DirectX 12 and some of the other tools that are being released will be, get out there, we're gonna see a step up in terms of, what these new consoles can do. So
Neat.
yeah. What else? Assassin's Creed 5 has been revealed.
Oh,
Unity.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're also going to have a previous gen console version codenamed, or possibly codenamed Galak-Z or some space-related type name. Cosmos? Comet? I don't know.
Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, so they're going to release 5 for all the next gen shit, and then they're going to have another one that coincides with that release for the previous gen, but it might be a totally different game. It's kind of strange.
So this one's taking place in the French Revolution?
Which sounds
Yeah.
kind of awesome.
That does
Yeah.
sound pretty neat.
He's going to be male, Caucasian.
As usual.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. Everything else is kind of in secrecy, but it looks cool. They got a guillotine right in the sneak preview. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are they spitting one out every year now? Is that
yeah.
how they're doing it, or yeah?
That franchise has been annualized for a while now.
I don't know. It seemed like there had been a pretty decent gap between each release, but I guess every year now, spit it out and ship it.
Yeah.
I still haven't even finished 3, so that's a thing.
Yeah,
But I'm just glad that they're going with the whole French Revolution. And from the sounds of it, not much of an emphasis on open seas warfare, I hope.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's too early to say at this point, but I don't see why they couldn't have some of that in there. But it's definitely not going to be as sea combat heavy as Black Flag. That's for sure.
Yeah. So Borderlands 2, for all those PS Vita owners, all 12 of you, you can get Borderlands 2 for your PS Vita. Good.
Huh.
Yeah.
Why would I want that?
Another game for the, PS Vita.
Okay,
For,
sure.
to add to like their 4-game library. It's a thing. It's a thing that happened.
In lack of Spencer, I'm going to say that a very Spencerous comment, and that there are some really good quality games for the Vita.
There are.
It's disappointing that it hasn't really taken off because these really incredible games will not have a showcase, such as Tearaway. Okay, Tearaway. I don't know. I don't know anything else. I'm not Spencer. I don't know.
There's some other ones, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm
there
sure.
are. I'm just
Tearaway and
poking some fun at Vita owners.
Yeah, I think the Vita is a neat little system.
It is, but not one I'll ever own.
I have a PSP. I still play it every now and then.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, Alien Isolation. You guys heard about that one?
No, wait.
No.
That's the one that it's like a shit.
Being released by Sega.
Right.
Sub whatever of Sega, but Sega's like the top tier or top level.
It's the one where you're playing as Ripley's daughter or something like that. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Right.
And they're making it basically a defenseless survivor horror, but apparently it doesn't suck.
Really?
So it's like the total polar opposite of Aliens Colonial Marines. The way it works is like you don't really have weapons, and you're the one being hunted. You're alone on this ship, and you're being hunted by an alien, singular alien. You have a kind of motion sensor type radar sonar type dealie, and a flashlight, and you're skulking through the ship. And now using your flashlight or using the sonar thingy could be a detriment to getting you caught, because if you're in a totally dark room and you whip out that flashlight, which casts a huge ray of light, or even the little sonar guy, which casts a little bit of light, it could, in theory, notify the alien of your presence. Now, the alien may either attack you or continue to stalk you. It sounds absolutely fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it does.
And that does sound kind of cool, though.
Yeah. But that's a game that's going to come out, and yeah, from what I hear, it's not terrible by comparison to Colonial Marines. So cool. Yeah. Any of you guys play Frog Fractions, the video game?
I have played Frog Fractions. Yeah, that game.
No. Oh, yeah, that was a giant bomb.
Trip.
Question
all over
is,
that one.
How far did you get into that game?
I'm trying to remember now.
Because my first playthrough, I didn't even get through the fractions portion of it.
Oh, really?
It was veiled as a completely educational, normal, everyday humdrum.
And you bailed on it before you got to the actual game part of it?
What a goddamn mistake that was, eh? I totally missed the point.
Yeah, I can see why you would, though. That one's, yeah. I kind of knew what I was getting into going into it, but it was still kind of a chore to get through that part.
So Frog Fractions, they're making a Frog Fractions 2, sort of. It's not actually going to be called Frog Fractions 2. They're going to give it a different name, but it's going to be in the similar vein, just a complete fuck with your head kind of game. Absolutely all over the place, but entertaining throughout. Frog Fractions 2. Aw, yeah. Now I don't know if that's pending crowdsourcing or crowdfunding or what, but yeah, there's some news about it if you're the Googling type to go read more about it and enjoyed the original Frog Fractions. Yep.
Huh.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah.
And then of course there was Broforce, which is a cooperative patriotism simulator. You play as 80s and 90s action heroes waging war against terror in almost entirely destructible nostalgic settings. It's a run and gun Metal Slug type game. If you're listening and you want to watch a fucking funny trailer, go watch the Broforce trailer. It's great.
Yeah, the music, just the crazy guns, the crazy frenetic action. It looks pretty awesome, and it kind of reminds me a little bit like Monaco in that bit trip sort of style.
Yep.
And it's multiplayer too, right? Like we can.
Yep. Well, it's not fully hashed out yet. It's still kind of alpha beta, but they're gonna do online multiplayer co-op. Which, hell yeah, if that's a thing, we should totally all get it.
Oh damn yeah!
But that'll be basically once they do a full proper release, that'll be first day purchase on that one. It just looks so funny, so why not?
Yeah.
Another game, what is it? Always Sometimes Monsters.
Always Sometimes Monsters?
Yep. It's a modern day role-playing game where you basically take on the life of your character for 30 days and you try and make it from the East Coast of I guess, North America to the West Coast before your one true love marries someone else. Along the way, you'll face a myriad of choices that will alter the course of your journey and change the fate of your character. These decisions will affect the characters as you encounter the world around them, but few things are ever as binary as right or wrong. Your unique story will be shaped by your personal ethical compass with none other like it. So it's basically an RPG, but there's a lot of weight to your decisions, to how you interact, to how you accord yourself throughout the journey. And it's done in kind of, very 8-bitty, 16-bitty style.
It looks like the Eye of the Beholder.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But, it seems... I've seen some reviews on it. It looks pretty cool. Rock Paper Shotgun is all over it. Destructoid likes it. Polygon likes it. So that's a game that'll be coming out that I might actually be interested in. Oddly enough, considering I'm not an RPG guy, but that one I might put some bucks into.
Nice.
I'll check that out. Yeah, let us know what you think of it if you do play it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lastly,
it's a Devolver title, right?
There's
Devolver Digital.
Yeah, those guys are coming out with some fucking cool shit. Let's see, what was the other game called? Gods Will Be Watching. It's a point-and-click thriller. Remember the video art, or the art style of, I'm trying to remember, like, King's Quest and maybe the original or older Leisure Suit Larry's where, you're the tall, skinny, pixelated dude.
Yep.
It's similar art style, but, done nicer. But basically, it's another one of those your decisions kind of shape the game. A little blurb about it. It's an innovative departure from the traditional point-and-click adventure, taking place in 6 intimate, tension-filled scenarios linked together through an epic narrative of interstellar espionage. Set morals aside as you navigate as Sergeant Burden and his team through harrowing predicaments to make decisions that will either save your team or sacrifice their lives for the sake of the mission. Solve a variety of narrative puzzles and moral dilemmas using your own wits, and burden the consequences of your choices. Do you intimidate or comfort your hostages to maintain your tenuous control of the situation? Should you kill the weakest member of your party to save on food for the strong? What is one life worth in the face of annihilation? Receive your judgment from the gods upon failure and compare your choices to all other players in the universe over time. Then they're talking about beautifully designed sprites, which, at that point they lost me.
So what is it? Is it like a god game? Like, what is this?
No,
What are you
it's...
talking to me?
Trying to think how you would describe it. It's... kind of like a horror survival, but a point-and-click adventure. You'd have to watch the trailer to kind of get a really good grasp on it.
Where can we find that trailer?
I will send that to you on the YouTubes through the glory of Skypes.
Maybe put a link up on the
Yeah, for our podcast listeners, what was it? Just run the title again.
Well, you can go to www.godswillbewatching.com, to kind of get more info on the game, and they also have a built-in trailer there, so you can do that.
Cool.
But that looks fun. Again, it's kind of RPG-esque, but at the same time without the hardcore RPG elements. It seems very story-driven, which I'm a big fan of. So once that actually comes out to Steam, I'm probably going to throw some bucks at it.
All right. Oh yeah, I see what you mean with the style.
Yeah.
It looks like Alone in the Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that kind of look to it. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's some cool shit coming out, I think, from the looks of it. So I'm kind of excited for what's going to be in the pipeline this year, honestly.
Yeah. So did a lot of this stuff come out from GDC?
You bet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sony, was very heavy-handed about their Oculus Rift killer, aka what was it called again?
Yeah. Sony VR.
Yeah. All these VR things are really fragmenting the market right now.
Mm-hmm. Oculus Rift has just slashed the price of theirs to like $300.
Their new iteration of their dev console for the Rift is $350, and it's the most latest, greatest. It's about their newest dev unit is about as close to the final releases they're going to get. So now it's more kind of just getting developers to really iron out their games to work with this newest iteration of the Oculus. Mm-hmm. So that's a thing. But Sony is they're throwing some interesting shit at their VR.
Project Morpheus, that's what they're calling theirs.
Thank you. Yeah, they really want to jump into the game, or into the ring with that thing. But again, it's going to be almost exclusively tied to the PlayStation 4, possibly the PlayStation 3, but unlikely.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, it's one of those things where the whole concept of VR headsets and stuff, it's cool, it's novel, but unless there's something that really, really, really makes me want it, I'm most likely just going to take a pass. So.
Yeah, there needs to be a killer app.
Yep.
There needs to be something that you cannot do.
Oh, dude, there's already some VR shit for Oculus Rift related to that. So
too real. It's too real at that point.
Yeah.
You need that separation. You can't have VR porn. It just wouldn't work. It's the whole the whole Uncanny Valley thing, man. It's just yeah. No, you need to be separated. You need to be an observer. Otherwise, it's just not. That's no good. No good at all.
So
shut it down. Shut it all down.
Shutting it down. I would never leave my home.
Why would you need to?
Right.
The only reason you leave your home is to. Never mind.
to work, to make money, to buy the things that pleasure you.
You need to get porn.
Put in my head.
I don't.
Yeah.
The former Doctor Who, Mr. David Tennant, is lending his voice to, ready for it? Kinect Sports Rivals.
Nobody cares.
Nope.
Nobody cares.
Nope, because it's sports related, so who gives a shit?
It's Kinect related and sports related. So
I know, it's like
wow,
legitimately the worst of many worlds right there.
Who are they trying to sell this to by announcing that David Tennant is going to be the voice of this thing?
Yeah. I mean,
that's the thing. Sports bros are most likely not Doctor Whovians, Whovians.
Is it going to be soccer?
Yeah, because they're all like, Doctor Who? And you're like, exactly.
Yes.
Get it. I get it.
Kinect Sports Rivals. Playing sports with your Kinect.
Yeah.
Goody.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, never. Never, never, ever. There are people actually whining that the PS4 should have come with their the camera.
The move? Oh.
Yeah.
No.
It's like, really? Quit your fucking whining, people. It's a goddamn camera. At least it's not like the fucking Xbox One where you need that thing connected to your system or it will not work. giving it bullshit voice commands while you silently mutter to yourself, "Fucking piece of shit," every time you try and use a voice command. No.
Did you see the video of the guy who named his character in the game Xbox Off?
Oh,
it's like, hey, Xbox Off, quit shooting me! No.
I can see that going real well.
Yeah,
but you know what?
Yeah.
I don't know why people are getting all hot and bothered over, whether or not the camera should have been included with the PS4. It's a non-critical peripheral, unlike Microsoft's kind of shoddily implemented required peripheral. But at least, Microsoft bundled it in, but at the additional cost, right? So,
right.
Yeah, it's a camera. Who cares?
There's two ways to handle that whole peripheral thing. You either make it a bundled thing and eat the cost of it, or deal with the cost, being inflated by it, or you put it out afterwards and deal with the fragmentation that goes on in your user base, where you can't say for sure whether anybody has the Kinect or not, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I can't remember if it was a requirement to have the PS4 camera to do your Twitch streaming or live streaming. If that is the case, yeah, I can see it being a bit irritating.
Well, you really only need that for like the picture-in-picture stuff, right?
Yeah, but again, I'm not entirely sure if it's a requirement to actually stream to Twitch, like just your gameplay to Twitch. But it's actually one thing I did hear is the Twitch streamership for PS4 owners is now up to like 20% of the Twitch streams out there.
Huh.
Went up like over 10% in like a month. So a lot of people who own PS4s are streaming their crap to Twitch.
That's bonkers.
You want to watch me play my PlayStation 4? Just click on my Twitch feed. You can watch me play the game.
Yeah.
It'd be good if they implemented some way of like, if you can watch someone play their game, you can drop in, I don't know, health potions or jump in their game or.
Oh, okay.
That's sort of what
I
felt
influence their gameplay in some way.
Yeah, like.
Huh.
Funny you should mention that. Have you heard of Twitch Plays Pokemon?
Yeah,
where they get the commenters. They get the commenters to comment up, down, left, right, button inputs, and the inputs from the commenters are actually being utilized in the game via Twitch to actually play that Pokemon game. I don't know which Pokemon game it was.
I think it's Pokemon Red.
Sure. But they hit a wall when it involved cutting down a fucking tree.
Right.
Because people are like, up, no, left, no, down.
Because they needed a Pokemon or something to do it.
Yeah.
And they couldn't pull the Pokemon out.
Nope.
And then they got lost in this one cave. It took them forever to get through a cave. But it was just like, did you ever see it? Did you ever go on a Twitch to watch it? It was just chaos.
I saw, I didn't watch the actual Twitch feed. I just watched, a YouTube clip of it.
Yeah.
And that was the most painful experience.
I don't see how anybody could get any joy out of that, because it was just menus opening and closing millions of times.
But the thing is, if you were a Twitch channel owner, I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to make it subscriber-only chat.
Yeah.
So, you can get some bucks out of it. Sure, it's going to be a very miserable experience for you, but at the same time, at least you're making money. Sort of, kind of.
Some of them make some pretty good money.
Oh, yeah. Twitch Plays Pokemon. And then there was some other spin-offs like Twitch Plays Tetris, where they were using the inputs from Twitch Plays Pokemon to play a game of Tetris, which, again, did not go well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess not.
No.
You wouldn't expect that it would.
That's all I got. Ryan? Anything? News?
No, just the only thing I saw from out of GDC, I showed you guys the trailer for this earlier. There was kind of a procedurally generated roguelike style space shooter game called Galak-Z. And it's another one of these games that's only been announced for PS4 at this point, but I suspect it'll probably be released on PC as well somewhere down the line. Very fun-looking game. Draws a very heavy influence from early to mid-'80s anime cartoons, the old Star Blazers and G-Force and stuff like that. visually very sharp, very interesting kind of procedural gameplay. And that one is one I'm going to be keeping an eye on for sure. Oh, there's my dog. Sorry.
That's fine. Welcome back.
Yeah,
welcome back.
Sorry. The dog was just making a damn fool of herself since somebody new came over, so I just thought I'd mute myself for a little bit there.
Did you hear that Terraria has surpassed 1 million downloads on mobile and console?
Oh, good for them.
Yeah, Terraria, that's a thing.
Yeah.
I played that a lot in Guyana.
Really?
Because I had nothing to do. Yeah.
Guyana.
It seems fun. That's a long story. I was in Guyana for like 6 weeks with nothing, no internet, even though I was there as internet service provider.
Wow.
That's
go figure.
I
that is suboptimal.
Mm-hmm. So
it's a lightweight game. Throw it on any laptop you have.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted either Brian or Dan to discuss was how did the Backspace originally come to be? I heard a funny little story about it.
Like our first ever.
Why
ever podcast?
Like why the podcast why the Backspace was created?
Well, we basically put it together so that we could get into E3, didn't we, Dan?
Yeah, that's right.
We just
we needed a way. We want to get in with press passes. And
so you whipped together a website, with your names and.
Yep. Their names in the masthead, and we sent that off. We still didn't get press passes.
No, we had to go with our company, if I recall.
Yeah, we had to go with the company I work for, the company me and Nelson work for. So I have an E3 badge with I have an E3 badge with top producer on it as my company name.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. E3, that was a trip.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was great.
It was a shitty little
Oh god, that hotel was awful. Yeah.
It was worst.
We could look at our window and see people dealing crack at the gas station across the street.
Yeah.
The Backspace. Because E3.
Because
E3. That's
E3.
how we started. Yeah.
It was.
I'd love to go back.
Yeah, me too. It was a total eye opener for the way those kind of conventions work. I mean, and that's an industry convention. I mean, that was like hardcore sort of industry stuff. There's a lot of business going on.
I actually wouldn't mind going to GDC, to be honest.
We saw Reggie Fils-Aime.
Oh wow!
In person,
was his body ready?
In person,
his body was ready. I pointed at him. I'm like, "Holy shit! Look, there's Reggie Fils-Aime," and I pointed at him, and he looked at me right when I pointed at him, and I felt like a complete asshole.
It's that guy, the Nintendo guy. Holy shit!
He's like, "Oh shit! Is that guy going to attack me or something?" But
ooh! Watch Dogs, the game.
Watch Dogs.
Guess what? They have an official release date of, I believe, May 24th. That's
awesome.
From the sounds of it.
Kind of a neutered version, from what I hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been downgraded quite a bit graphically. There's a lot of things going on. People are complaining about it. The early I mean, that stuff was kind of concept stuff, anyways. So
it really was.
I was reading about this. That people are feeling cheated because they were sold a bill of goods and how it looked and everything, and the development looked way better than the actual release that's going to happen. Yeah.
But the concept of that game is still interesting enough that I'll probably give it a look.
However, if you're a Wii U owner, you probably won't be seeing a release anytime soon, if at all.
A year. They're saying a year later.
If at all.
What the fuck? Yeah, I know. It's been like that for a while.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I kind of like the idea of using the Wii U console, the gamepad, to hack. Yeah.
That's the one thing I could see the Wii U handheld console thing, like tablet, whatever you want to call it, could be very useful and fun.
Yeah, it seems like that's the platform that it was made for.
Yeah. But, with PlayStation 4 and the Vita interconnectivity, they could have done something with that too, with Microsoft Xbox 360 and Xbox One using Windows, the Smart Glass. Yeah, that's another potential. Unfortunately, PC in that vein would get fucked unless they figured out a way for you to hook up your iPad or your Android.
Yeah, Windows Phone.
Yeah, that'll happen.
That's not even built into the game, but that would have been a cool little little addition, I think.
Yeah, it would have added a lot to the gameplay, and that's kind of what a lot of Wii U players were hoping, was that this would actually bring some light to the console. It might actually be a game changer. It might actually be, the killer app that everybody wants. But it's now just more Trail of Tears for Wii U owners. So, have
they come out and said anything about whether this is actually taking place in the Assassin's Creed universe yet? Because I thought there was some hints dropped. It's a Ubisoft thing, right?
Oh,
yeah, it is.
There's some contention that this is like a stealth Assassin's Creed game or something like that.
Huh. So you're in the Animus, basically?
Well, no, it's kind of a Abstergo Corporation or something like that. I don't know. There was some corporate logos or something that somebody spotted in one of the trailers that were the same as the Abstergo logo or something like that.
Interesting.
It might just be an Easter egg, but people are going nuts about, this is an Assassin's Creed game. They're not going to tell us until it's out and all that kind of stuff. So
that's kind of a cool little tie-in, actually. Yeah. It's Flappy Bird. It's coming back eventually to the mobile.
Why?
Yeah, Flappy Bird.
Yeah, Flappy Bird.
It's gonna come back. The
Fires of Phoenix, Flappy Bird is back.
Dong Wayne, the creator and destroyer of Flappy Bird, is apparently planning to revive the game, but he won't share when. So yeah, if you missed out on Flappy Bird, you might get to play it again.
And those people who paid thousands of dollars for iPhones with Flappy Bird on them are gonna feel really stupid.
Yeah.
Exactly. What?
Yeah, there's the thing. People, if somebody had Flappy Bird installed on their iTunes account, they were marketing iPhones with Flappy Bird on it. So you could buy an iPhone with Flappy Bird.
Unreal.
Yep.
Unreal.
Yep.
Silly.
The thing is, even though he took the game down, he's still making shitloads of money because it's an ad-based game. Mm-hmm. So even though it's not available, he's still earning tons of cash. Apparently, he bought himself a Mini Cooper.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for him.
And the folks at Rolling Stone, they actually interviewed him. They were able to track him down and be like, "Yo, so you're the guy. You do the stuff."
Well, good for him. I mean, I got nothing against the guy. I mean, if he made a thing that people wanted to pay money for, or if he made a thing that people wanted to advertise in, and make revenue on it, then so much the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, personally, I have no issue with what he did. Everybody says, he's ripping off the art style of Nintendo, and it's like, you know what? Fuck you. There is no original art styles anymore. Everything is a copy of something, is inspired by something, so who cares?
It's all part of the zeitgeist. So
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Flappy Bird's coming back.
It's back.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God, our long national nightmare is over.
Right?
Jesus Christ.
My God. We almost didn't even talk about it.
A national nightmare?
No! The fucking movie, Brian.
But,
the one you told us to watch.
Oh, free to play?
Free to play.
Free to play. Yeah, that movie had its head up its own ass, like you said.
Yeah.
I skipped to the last 15 minutes of it and said, "Oh yeah, okay, they won. Good."
Yeah, hooray! We should probably lay some groundwork for the people who have no idea what we're talking about right now.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, okay. But this will be the last thing though, because I got to
sure.
No worries.
Yeah, I got to.
Good thing to cap the show off with, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so Valve basically put together a full-length documentary about the competitive Dota scene, and it focuses on three disparate players. One, a guy named Hi or HY. I couldn't figure out which one they were calling him in the movie.
HY.
Was it HY? Okay. Yep. He's a Singaporean kid, a guy named Fear, who's American, and another kid named Dendi, who is apparently
from the Ukraine.
Ukraine, yeah, he's from the Ukraine.
Ukraine.
They basically follow these three players during the $1 million Dota international tournament that went on last year.
$1.6 million.
Well, the top prize was $1 million.
Yeah.
The total prize pool was 1.6, but the winner took home $1 million basically.
Mm-hmm.
5-man teams basically playing Dota against each other.
I do have some issue with them saying, "Oh, he won $1 million." It's like, actually, no. The team won $1 million. Now it has to be split between 5 players and a coach. But anyway, carry on.
Well, and whatever structure there is for their team. I mean, I'm sure there's managers. There's if they have a training house or whatever, I'm sure a lot of that gets eaten up, I'm sure. But apparently that guy went on to do a lot of endorsements and stuff like that. So I don't think he's hurting for money.
Oh, Dandy's doing real well for himself now.
Yeah. So anyways, it just kind of gives an insight into who these obsessive Dota players are, like these guys who play at 16 hours a day, and compete at an international level, and kind of gives us a kind of a glimpse into the lives of these people. And it's basically Valve trying to
make Dota seem awesome.
Yeah, they're trying to create a mythology around Dota and the sort of the blooming esports scene, right? They're trying to establish their pantheon. These are the guys that you should know about if you want to start following esports, right? It has a classic kind of sports documentary setup. You've got your underdogs, and then you've got your big bad team, the eHome team from China, who they never interview, they never talk about. They just position them as this big kind of Ivan Drago type figure for Dota, right? It's like these guys are the unknowable ones. They're the ones that everybody thinks is just going to destroy everything that walks in front of them.
Yeah. Like they're basically kind of pigeonholing or making all the Chinese teams seem like they were the unstoppable forces and forces to be reckoned with, and you have no chance competing against them. Haha, you will be defeated.
Yeah, the only thing it's missing is like a training montage with all kinds of like robotic arms and stuff like that, And
God,
if he dies,
steroid
he
injections.
Dies.
It's brutal too, because like they did show some scenes from like the training houses, and oh God, no, thank you.
Yeah, no,
that just seemed horrifying.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of did that. We kind
of lived that way.
Oh, dude, back in my World of Warcraft days, it was very similar, but it's a full-time viable career in Asia, which is kind of fucking weird to think about. It's like, there's this whole kind of sub-story about how the Asian players, their parents want them to improve their studies or excel at their studies and forget about the games because they don't want them to end up like us, or your studies are more important than being an international video game rock star and blah blah blah. And they did hammer in some points about how some of the players like Hi or HYHY Benedict, whatever, he had to repeat a year of school as a result of even going to that competition and things like that.
He missed his exams, so he couldn't finish that year. But he thought it was worth the risk for a possible shot at a part of $1 million pot. So
yeah, and wasn't he the one who wanted to get back with his ex?
Well, that's kind of his journey for that for this movie. I mean, if you're going to watch it, you might not want to listen to this point. But yeah, his journey is he doesn't win the big prize, but he gets back together with his girlfriend, who he basically got together with because she was into Dota.
And the funny part is about that is like, oh, she got back together with him. Is it because he won a bunch of money?
Yeah. Well,
hey, you're rich now. Welcome back.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Then there was the American guy where he didn't have a strong fear. He didn't have a strong father figure because his daddy left him when he was a young little boy, and his mama was trying to make ends meet, and this is my struggle to prove to my mama that I'm good and things. And, she was actually surprisingly proud of him for his accomplishments as a gamer. But
But yeah, that was the kind of thing for me. It's like these guys, when you get right down to it, they're basically obsessing about a video game 16 hours a day. That's what they do, right? Their families kind of recognize that this is not a normal thing. This is not something all the interviews were like, I wish he was doing something better with his time, but he's one of the best in the world now, so I guess I support him.
Yeah.
There was a very thin veil of actual support for what they were doing. I mean, obviously the parents would have preferred that their kids actually did something more better, gooder with their lives instead of being a good video gamer. And then they also, went on to talk about how once you get to a certain age, like I think it's like over 30, you're no longer able to react and do the
the APUs.
Actions per the actions per second or whatever.
Or APS
to be competitive and whatnot. I mean, the Dendy story actually was I kind of got a little bit emotional over his story because living in like Lviv, Ukraine, and basically having effectively a pretty shitty life. The loss of his dad and not really being a popular kid and whatnot. There was some relatability there, and how his life completely spun around after the competition and his win, and how they kind of were like, I think my dad would be proud of me for my accomplishments and yada yada. But
but I think that's an interesting point as well, because a lot of these guys, they didn't get into it. They didn't get into competitive gaming because they were seeking glory. They weren't trying to achieve anything. What they were trying to do is they were running away from other obligations or other pain that they were experiencing, and kind of finding a sanctuary in gaming, like as an escape from their problems. HY had, the typical Asian parents who wanted him to excel at his studies. Both Dendy and Fear had absent fathers and mothers who were scraping just to try and make ends meet. And these guys all just kind of found an outlet for this, but it's not the kind of thing where it's not the kind of thing where these guys had a singular vision of what they wanted their lives to be. So they just kind of stumbled into this stuff and found that they had a talent for it, and eventually went on to be one of the best in the world, kind of thing.
Yeah. So the whole thing, I mean, I really don't know how I feel about that whole documentary. I mean, it kind of had a sort of nice ending if you were to try and veil it as that. But again, it's like there's a whole kind of aspect of it where there's a level of obsession and putting all your eggs in one basket, because once you make this your primary focus, and by the time you get burnt out or you're hit the age cap, so to speak, then what? You didn't study.
You need to take like Settlers of Catan as a trade.
Like you don't have a viable career afterwards, because whoop-de-doo, you're a fucking video game rock star. Now what? You can't be a lawyer. You can't be a doctor. You can't do anything because you played video games for 30 goddamn years, or 20 or 15 or whatever.
That is a dangerous aspect of this whole thing, is how all-consuming this is. I mean, granted, people who compete at an Olympic level, that's, for the most part, that's what they do as well. But I don't know if this has that kind of I don't know if this really has that kind of legitimacy. Like, there's no benefit. Like, if you're an Olympic athlete, obviously you're going to be physically healthy to an extreme, right? There's no peripheral benefits to this outside of just your proficiency at a video game, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing else that's gonna help you, get anywhere in life. I don't know. It sounds weird to say this on a video game podcast, but the whole thing, it seems like the esports thing seems like taking something that should be a pastime and should be kind of something that you use as a stress relief, and trying to turn it into something greater.
Yeah, because they were doing a whole thing about how esports is going to be the next biggest thing, and video games. I agree with you. I think video games should be like a release, a pastime, not something that you should consider a viable fucking career goal or anything like that. Sure, I mean, there's always going to be somebody who takes their video games way too seriously. That's the crux of their life. They go to work, they come home, and they just game, and then they go to bed, and then rinse and repeat. That's their life. Some people, that's how they do things. Other people are like us. In particular, we have a balance of life, obligations, work, and video games for fun when we have the opportunity. I'm assuming Dan is probably also part of this group as well, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Huh? Yeah, esports.
Thanks for showing up, Dan.
But I am not. Listen, esports represent everything that I fucking hate about games.
You know what?
Now
Now
he's telling us what he really feels.
I just don't. I mean, even in World of Warcraft or EverQuest, it was those people who went way over the top.
Yeah.
Like, I was never able to catch up to them. I never would.
Oh, God. Don't even get me started on PvP and Arena with
World
of Warcraft. So, that was my full-time job outside of my full-time job.
So that's why I feel like in this, it's just like, okay, I really hope... Like, I mean, I understand the appeal, and I can I can see why there are people in the industry that want esports to take off, because it adds a professional, I guess, element to a genre that
some legitimacy,
right,
and it's money.
And it is, it's money. It brings more money into it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's going over the top, and then we're going to be creating these games that are going to cater specifically towards the esports player, the dedicated diehard player.
Oh golly, just like Tribes Ascend.
Yeah,
they tried so hard to make that an esport. I liked the game, but as soon as they started to get really too heavy into marketing it as an esport game, I was like, yeah, I'm done. Thanks.
Or every EverQuest add-on after, Planes of Power or the Moon one, they were all catered to hardcore gamers.
Yeah,
right.
And there was nothing in it for regular ass gamers. So anyway, that's my worry. It's a slippery slope. I know it's not a really good argument, but it's still,
Well, as long as there's still somebody out there making the kind of games that you want to play, I don't think there's a whole lot of danger of that. But the whole thing to me just smacks of fanaticism. It's just like trying to putting too much emphasis on something, that should be
which could ruin
your
lives,
life, not your entire life, right?
Like, legitimately, it could ruin some people's lives. It's like, I see esports as like my bread and butter. Sure, and then once you fall out of favor, or like they decide that game's no longer interesting and they move on to the next big thing, then what?
Yeah.
You put all your eggs in that esports basket, and all of a sudden you got nothing. Nothing. You might have some winnings, but I'd say most of the esports players don't have the level of understanding and responsibility in life to sock away their money and their earnings and their winnings.
That's
who
knows?
Don't really know that.
I can't say that for sure, but I'd say probably for the vast majority, that'll most likely be the case.
Yeah, but how many NBA basketball players are smart about that? That's not a problem specific game.
All right, valid argument.
But the whole free to play movie thing, it smacks of Valve trying to legitimize the esports scene, trying to into a North American audience where traditionally it hasn't had a lot of traction. Esports is a big thing in Asia. It's a big thing in Europe. But on our shores, it just really has never caught on, because I think there's a kind of a sports mentality here that says if it ain't football, then what's the point? And in Canada, if it ain't hockey, then what's the point? So I think they've got an uphill battle ahead of them if they're trying to turn it into some kind of a competitive arena, and I don't know that it's really worth that kind of effort at this point.
But at the same time, I now know what Dota is about. I used to never know what the fuck Dota was even about.
I think the animation in that documentary is really well done too. I think
Dota looks kind of fun.
It does look cool. It is cool. It's fun playing against the AI.
It's playing against people you know.
No,
I actually don't. I kind of like that Steam is kind of pushing or promoting movies or shorts, kind of inspired by or gaming related, like Indie Game the movie. I bought it
Indie Game,
at full price. Now you can watch it for free online. Same thing with free to play. It was a free to watch movie. I actually watched it on YouTube instead of downloading through Steam, because I think it's stupid how you have to download it into Steam to watch it. That should be straight up streaming shit. But anyway, there's another movie series, a bunch of shorts that's going to come out to Steam soon called Super Game Jam. It's 5 episodes, a documentary focusing on making video games in a short amount of time, like, usually 48-hour game jams, and then
I heard about that.
Yeah, so
that's how they made simulator.
Exactly. So it's going to be like 5 30 to 40 minute episodes coming out starting in April and every month thereafter on Steam. So I'm
very cool.
I'm curious. I'll definitely watch them, but I like that Steam is starting to kind of go that route.
It's cool.
Putting a little bit more promotion into it, and just like the folks. Crap, what was the name again? The ones responsible for like Hotline Miami 2.
Oh, Devolver?
Yeah, Devolver. They actually do a lot in film as well.
Indie films, yeah.
Yep. And I think they're responsible for some stuff that may be coming out on Steam soon. But yeah, I mean, this movie was a worthwhile watch. It was interesting. I didn't really take all that much away from it. All I know is my takeaway is esports, ew, gross, go away.
Yeah. On a side note, the real gross thing about the whole Steam side of this thing was that you could buy packs of the 3 featured players. Mm-hmm. In the story. You could buy their cosmetic packs for specific characters in Dota for actual money if you wanted to.
So you could play Dendi or HYHY or Fear.
Yeah, in game. So like their specific item builds or something like that, and you had to pay I think it was like $6 for each of them, or you could get a pack of 3 for 15 or something like that.
And now the question is, does that go to support the players, or is that just money in Steam's pocket?
I would imagine if it's got their name on it, they'd have to work out some kind of deal with them, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah. Well, I guess it's probably like a Humble Bundle where a bit of it goes to Steam, a bit of it goes to the players.
Oh yeah, there's no way Steam's.
Yeah, there's a tip for the filmmakers or something.
Yeah, there's no way Steam's not getting a piece of that for sure. But
yeah,
the whole thing. It's like, well, if you feel strongly enough about it, you can dress your character up like HYHY or Dendi. So yeah, I saw that and I thought it was kind of an interesting documentary. It didn't really stick with me, but it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. Well, it got it got my jimmies rustled. So
yeah, certainly did.
And it's worth it, I think, for the conversation of it, and because it is the future, regardless of where I think it should go.
It made me feel ways about things.
Yeah, I'm an old man, and I have feelings about things.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I think that should do it for this week's episode.
Yep.
Cool. I'm gonna go play some lift rousers.
I'm not gonna do any of that.
You're gonna go to bed.
I was actually gonna put on a stream of a video game, actually. Oh yeah, the game that you talked about earlier, Brian.
Which?
On Giant Bomb, the quick look.
Oh yeah. Galak-Z.
Galak-Z.
Nice. Yeah. Watch that quick look. It's actually quite cool.
Galak-Z.
Mm-hmm. In Canada, yeah.
Blame Canada.
All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. I'll go on to our website at thebackspace.ca. We
Really?
just updated it. Yeah, go ahead.
What?
It just redirects to InfoWire, but
But
go there. You can. You can also go tweet us at our Backspace. And send us your comments if you like our show. If you want us to talk about anything.
Do we want to give out personal Twitter addresses on this, or?
Yeah. Sure.
I just signed up for the Twitters, so
the Twitters.
You're
followers. A tweetist?
I need followers.
You're a Twitterist.
I require followers.
Okay, what is your tweet?
Mine is @freakedout. That's PHREAKDOUBT @freakedout.
Yeah. Follow Brian. You can follow me @Danicus. I was lucky to get that one apparently.
Huh.
Awesome.
Nelson, what's yours?
No.
He's not going to give it out.
Mine's not worth it. My old handle's @RobotRogue, but I hardly use it anymore, so I might start using it again. Who knows?
Yeah, tweet us. We like talking to people.
Absolutely.
All right.
And eventually we should have a Google Plus channel, whatever.
Oh, that's we were thinking about doing a Google Plus.
Yeah, so we can do a Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
Woo.
See, I have a face for radio, so.
We all do, Dan.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. And we're out.
We're out.
Cut.
Good show, people. Good show.
Good show.
All right, so I'm gonna upload that song to the show notes folder.
Okay.
Oh, is that the whatchamacallit, the Aussie Gamer one?
Yeah.
What? Sorry. Hello. I think he started uploading it, and that killed his
Yeah. I definitely did.
I hope you're getting this.
It's too funny.
Oh no!
I just stopped recording.
Does this sound awesome or what?
That was amazing.
This cake looks good.
You're not supposed to, but shut up. Hey, you're not supposed to, but don't care. Hey, you're not supposed to, but shut up. Hey, you're not supposed to, don't care. Hey, you're not supposed to, but shut up. Hey, you're not supposed to, but don't care. Hey, you're not supposed to, but shut up. Don't care. This cake looks good. Shut up. This cake looks good. Don't care. This cake looks good. Shut up. This cake looks good. Don't